Today we read a bedtime story called Disney Pixar's Toy Story 2 from Disney's Wonderful World of Reading. Andy raced around his room playing with his two special toys. You should never tangle with the unstoppable duo of Sheriff Woody and Buzz Lightyear, Andy said. Suddenly, rip! Andy accidentally ripped Woody's arm, and Andy was supposed to leave for cowboy camp any minute. Would he still take Woody? Andy's mother suggested they should try to fix Woody, but Andy decided to leave Woody home this year. Andy's mother put Woody high up on the shelf. From there, Woody was sadly as Andy left. Andy had never before gone to cowboy camp without him. Woody wondered if Andy would forget about him. The next morning, Woody heard a sickly cough next to him on the shelf. It was Wheezy, a little toy penguin. "Wheezy," cried Woody, "where have you been?" "After my squeaker broke, I was put up here on the shelf and forgotten," Wheezy sighed. "We're all just one stitched away from here to there. Anyway," he went on, pointing out the window. Outside, Andy's mother was setting up a yard sale. She came to Andy's room looking for items for the sale, and she grabbed Wheezy. Woody sprang into action. He jumped onto Andy's dog Buster to rescue the squeakless penguin. Wheezy made it back to Andy's room with Buster, but Buster didn't see that Woody had fallen off until it was too late. Suddenly, Woody spotted by a stranger. The man picked up the toy cowboy and clutched him in his greedy hands. "I found him," he said. "How much for this stuff?" he asked Andy's mother. Andy's mother refused to sell Woody, so the stranger snatched him and ran off. "Oh no!" cried Buzz Lightyear, watching from Andy's bedroom window. "He's stealing Woody!" In a flash, Buzz leaped out the window and slid down the drain pipe. But Buzz was too late. The stranger had jumped into his car with Woody and speeding off. The last thing Buzz saw was the car license plate, which read LCTWBRN. The thief raced back to his home and put Woody in the glass case. Once the man left, Woody opened the case and tried to escape. Suddenly, yee-haw! The three familiar toys surrounded Woody: a cowgirl, a horse, and the prospector still in his original box. "It's you! It's really you!" shouted the cowgirl. The horse eagerly licked Woody's face. "We've waited countless years for this day, Woody." The prospector welcomed him smiling. "Who are you?" Woody asked, confused. "How do you know my name?" The toys introduced themselves. Jessie, the young cowgirl, Stinky Pete the prospector, and Bullseye, the sharpest horse in the West. The prospector explained as they were part of a TV show based on the collection based on the TV show called Woody's Roundup. Woody was a star. "Wow!" exclaimed Woody, watching a videotape of the show. "That's me!" Meanwhile, Buzz and the rest of the toys learned that the license plate LCTWBRN stood for Al's Toy Barn. The toys knew Al from his TV commercials. It was Al who had stolen Woody. Buzz outlined a plan to get Woody back. "Woody once risked his life to save me," Buzz explained. "I couldn't call myself his friend if I wasn't willing to do the same. Who was with me?" That night, Buzz, Slinky, Mr. Potato Head, Ham, and Rex set out to rescue their stolen friend. Buzz led the way. "To Al's Toy Barn and beyond," he cried. Meanwhile, back at Al's, Woody learned it was true. He had once been a TV star. Al had collected every toy from the show except one, Sheriff Woody. The Round Gang had spent years in a storage box as Al searched for Woody. "Woo-wee!" howled Jessie. "Look at us! Now we're a complete set." Woody, Jessie, and Bullseye started playing with the Roundup toys. "Now Al can sell us to the museum in Japan," said the prospector. "Museum?" asked Woody. "But I've got to get back home to my owner, Andy." Jessie was crushed without Woody. They would be returned to the storage box. Then Al returned, and the toys hurried back to their places. They heard Al telephone a toy museum in Japan. The museum agreed to buy the Roundup Gang. I promise this collection will be the crown jewel of your museum, Al guaranteed, hanging up the phone. The toy collector grabbed Woody out of the case. Oops, Woody's arm got caught and tore off completely. Al called a man named the cleaner to come and fix Woody. Soon, Woody was not just good as new. He was better than new. The cleaner even painted over Andy's name on the bottom of Woody's shoe. But it didn't matter. Woody was still ready to go back home to Andy. Before he left, Woody stopped to say goodbye to the Roundup gang, and that's when Jessie told him about her little girl. Andy's your best friend, right? Jessie asked Woody. When he plays with you, you feel alive. How do you know that? Asked Woody. Because my Aunt Emily was just the same. She was my whole world, Jessie told him. It's funny, she added. You never forget them, but they forget you. She gave me away when she grew up. Jessie's words made Woody sad. He was afraid of Andy outgrowing him. He wondered if he should just stay with the Round Gang instead of going home. Meanwhile, it had been a long night for the other toys. The gang had walked to reach Al's toy barn. By morning, they stood across the street from the toy store. But now they had to cross a busy street. Luckily, Buzz had an idea. The toys hid in the traffic cones and ran across the street. Mr. Potato was almost turned to a mashed potato. Soon, though, they were all safe on the other side. Buzz and the others slipped inside Al's toy barn. They didn't find Woody, but they did meet some interesting toys. Buzz even met another, Buzz Lightyear. Soon, though, the toys found their missing buddy in Al's apartment across the street. Woody, Buzz cried. You are in danger here. We need to leave now. But now, Woody didn't want to go. Woody told his stunned friends about a TV show, the Roundup Gang, in the museum. Buzz, you don't understand, Woody tried to explain. Andy's growing up. And one day he won't need me any longer. This is my chance to last forever in the museum. Museum? You want to watch children from behind glass? Some life, Buzz wailed. You are a toy, Woody, a child's plaything. You have to be here for Andy, remember? Buzz asked. You taught me that, but Woody wouldn't go. As the other toys from Andy's room sadly left, Woody turned and saw his old TV show. Thereon, the TV set was a boy who looked like Andy. Woody scratched off the paint on his shoe and looked at Andy's name. He knew he made a mistake. What am I doing? What am I doing? Woody shouted. So if someday Andy outgrew him, until then, Woody wanted to spend every single minute with his best friend. Buzz, wait, Woody called out. I'm coming with you. He asked Jessie and Bullseye to come too, but the prospector slipped out of his box and stopped them. I waited too long for this, he said. You are not going to ruin my plans. Before they could get any farther, in came Al. Al grabbed the Roundup Gang and put him in a case. He was heading for the airport to fly to Japan. There he would sell him to the museum. Andy's toys raced to save Woody, fearing they might lose him forever. But before they could get him out of the toy case, the prospector yanked him back inside. Buzz and the gang ran outside after Al, but Al got into his car and sped off. How are we going to get him now? Rex asked. Just then, Mr. Potato Head spotted a Pizza Planet delivery van. Pizza! Anyone? He said slyly. The toys jumped into the vehicle. Slink, take the pedals, Buzz commanded. Rex, you navigate. Ham and Potato, operate the levers and knobs. They raced after Al's car. When Al reached the airport, he had to check into the toy case. The toys went to the baggage area on the conveyor belt that took the bags out to planes. The Roundup Gang was on its way to Japan. But Buzz and the other toys hiding the pet carrier followed the case into the baggage area. Buzz flew up to rescue Woody. The prospector tried to stop them, but Woody and Buzz managed to put in the backpack full of dolls. You'll like Amy, they said. She's an artist. Buzz, Woody, and Bullseye managed to escape, but Jessie was still trapped. Woody, help, pleaded Jessie. Woody, help, pleaded Jessie, as she was lowered into the plane. There was only one thing to do. Woody and Buzz jumped onto Bullseye. Ride like a wind, Bullseye, Woody cried as they galloped off to save Jessie. Woody jumped aboard the plane. Come on, Jessie, urged Woody. It's time to take you home. But I'm a girl toy, Jessie moaned. Andy's not going to like me. Nonsense, Woody replied. Andy will love you. Besides, he's got a little sister. He does, Jessie answered. Let's go. Suddenly, the baggage door closed. The plane started to move. There was only one way out, an opening just above the landing gear. Are you sure about this? Jessie asked nervously as she climbed down. Yes, now go, Woody replied, following her, but Woody slipped on the oily gear. He held on with his one arm, but it was his bad arm. It started to tear again. Hold on, Woody, Jessie cried. Just a minute, familiar voice called. You can't have a rescue without Buzz Lightyear. Buzz, yelled Woody, seeing his old partner atop his new pal Bullseye. Woody had an idea. He twirled his pull string like a lasso and wrapped it around the landing gear. Woody and Jessie swung away and landed safely on Bullseye. Nice roping, cowboy, cheered Buzz. Now let's all go home, Woody said, grinning. When Andy came back from camp, he was so anxious to see his toys that he didn't wonder about the airport baggage cart parked in front of his house. He bounded up upstairs to his room. He saw Woody and Buzz and his brand new Jessie and Bullseye toys. Oh, wow, thanks, he called downstairs to his mother. I'm proud of you, Woody, Buzz said later. Thanks, pal, Woody answered. You know someday when it all ends, it's good to know that I'll still have Buzz Lightyear to keep me company for infinity and beyond. The end.